Welcome, welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Consistency is a key for winning in life. Notice I said a key, I didn't say the key. There's so many things that go into winning in life, but I wanted to cover one of them today. Consistency, just staying consistent. Now, I've talked about that on my business channel several times, and it will probably be a theme that comes up again in the future, because you got to stay consistent with your business. But that's just one area of consistency. If you want to win in life, you got to stay consistent, no matter what the activity is. If you want a great relationship, you got to stay consistent with your actions. And they need to be good actions. Don't stay consistent with bad actions. In fact, if you're either receiving bad actions or giving them, you don't need to be in that relationship. But if you're consistently treating your mate well and they're consistently treating you, that's a key. Because if there's inconsistency, if there's flakiness, if there's no steadiness, that relationship is not going to last. And then, as I said, I always talk about it on my business channel. If you in any business, you need to be consistent with it. If you're on any job, you need to show up consistently and do consistent work. If we're talking about friendships, you need to be a consistent friend. Not a sometimey friend that's only around when you need something done or they need something. But you got to be that friend through thick and thin. You got to be consistent. Because what consistency does, it keeps you going. It keeps you disciplined, no matter what the area is. And now, if you're talking about winning in life, if you're talking about reaching a higher level, if you're talking about spiraling to a greater place than where you started, it takes consistency. Because I'm going to tell you something now. In life, it's not a straight line for success. As I've talked about success before, it's not a straight line. I wish it was. Anybody who's been successful in life or just successful in any endeavor, they'll tell you it was not a straight line, but they had to stick with it. You know, I don't care what it is, if you're trying to, make $1 million, it's not a straight line. Shoot, you're going to have some times of failure. There's going to be some times you're going to have to step back. There's going to be some detours. Success really looks like a squiggly line. You might be you might get to one aspect and then go in circles. But consistency keeps you on the path. Consistency is about staying on whatever path that you choose and just doing the work over and over. Let me use the consistency principle just for succeeding in any endeavor. Most businesses, most projects, most people who succeed in them, they'll tell you they went a long time before success, but they stayed consistent. They stayed with it. Indeed, staying consistent helped them to win. Because sometimes you might have to, like I've seen memes of like two men digging for gold, digging for diamonds. One gets almost to the end, then turns around while the other one is still going. That other one is going to get the diamonds because they stayed consistent. I'm going to say consistent. You have to do it. You have to keep going. There's many a times when you looked at something and you're like, man, I can't do this. I'll use myself for an example. There have been many a times just getting to this point where I'm having a conversation with you where I looked at it, it was like, man, I don't know. And you know what I would do? I would get more consistent. I remember I used to do these videos like once a week. In fact, I remember my first YouTube video. I did just one video. I don't think I did another one for about a year or a few months. There were like large periods of time between my earliest videos. But then when I started getting consistent, I got known for consistency, but it took me to another level. Like no matter what business you're in, what you're doing to make money, you got to stay consistent. When you're in a relationship, your behavior got to stay consistent. A lot of people will get in some bad relationships, but they're not getting consistent behavior. Or somebody's not giving consistency, then wonder why that person doesn't want to stay. You got to ride things out. Cause yeah, I wish it would be perfect. Nobody's relationship is going to be perfect, because relationships are a tool for growth, which means you're going to have some bad times. You're going to have some down moments. Consistency gets you to there. Is say, you know what, no matter what, we're going to consistently communicate. No matter what, I'm going to consistently treat my mate in a great manner, or try to, at least a good manner. I'm gonna consistently treat them well. I'm gonna work towards doing that. Because when you set a goal like that, it keeps you on the path. And when you get to that moment when you feel like you might fall off, then that's when consistency gets you through. Because you say, you know, no, I'm gonna do this no matter what. You know, always tell the story, like when, okay, I know I'm a writer. I never forget. I've done book signings where I run out of books. Like literally, might have, you know, had like scores of books sold, even a 100. And then I've done book signings where I might have sold one book. I've done a couple. I remember doing a couple seminars where I only had one person. But then I've been in some seminars where I had hundreds of people. And what was the thing? I stayed consistent no matter what. So if I had one person, I would talk to them the same way as I did 100 people. Do the same thing. Give the same service no matter what. I mentioned about the books. I remember with the book signings. I remember I did a book signing one time, sold one book. But I was staying consistent. That one book led to about $10,000, because the woman I sold the book to, she sponsored seminars. She put on seminars, and she put on a few for me. Consistent, no matter what. Business and life. Be consistent in your walk, how you walk through the street, how you treat people. Don't just treat people according to just circumstance. You're going to treat that person poorly, but that person great because of some external circumstances. You treat them both the same way, and you stay consistent with it. Because that person you think you might have treated poorly, that might have been a person who knew somebody or was connected to somebody. They just weren't dressed like it that day. Meanwhile, that person you think had something going on, they could like really mess your life up. But if you're consistent, no matter who they are, it's going to bring you some rewards. And that's the key. No matter what it is, whatever endeavor, relationship, where just your path through life, you stay consistent. Stay consistent, okay? So I want y'all to think about that. I want all of you to win. I want every single one of you to win. And a key to winning in life is consistency. I want y'all to really meditate on that. That's all I have for today. As always, keep rising. Peace and blessings.